Okay. I don't know how often this is going to be a thing. Like, I don't think it's going to be a series unless people are going to give me demos consistently that they want me to look at or review or whatever. But there's like no set format for now. I've looked at one complete game and some bits of games in the other one, which came down to about an hour and 20. And today we have two games that are about 1 hour each. And I actually didn't want to go over 1 hour and 30, but it also doesn't feel fair to just look at one game and then have that be the bar. You don't have anything to compare it to, so I think I'm gonna try and cut it off at 2 hours 30-ish and see how that goes. So today we're going to look at some Digital Directive games by Radial. Some interesting bits and bobs, and I talked to him a bit about some things happening in the games. So here we're in Hideout. He's a heavy. He's upgrading firing speed and ammo capacity as his first upgrades. You could probably argue that's not the best to do, but also not wrong, depending on the situation you're in. From what I found out, he's in a game with a friend in this one. So depending on like the support you have from a teammate, maybe you can't just go with firing speed over, let's say, resistances. I would probably prefer those if I was just going to be in a random game, because it's way easier to just keep yourself alive. And keeping yourself alive is going to be a reoccurring issue we're going to see happening, which isn't really the hardest thing to learn how to do. I mean, it just involves getting some health and kill and judging situations accordingly. Fights you can take and fights you probably shouldn't take on your own. And we'll see a bit more of that in the other mission. But we have someone asking what this game mode is, which is already a great sign of a solid MvM player, especially in a Digital Directive mission. So, yeah, Bilbo Baggins is going to be someone amazing. So you can see his upgrades. You could argue that you could get some projectile penetration as well if you just wanted to hit more, deal more damage. Why are you bullying me? Very rude, isn't it? You seriously haven't played MvM yet, you probably shouldn't play here. Which is fair. So, pick this up a bit. Bring me doctor, yes. The fact that he may be serious scares me, you and me both. Starting out with a giant med heavy combo. Guess you could be more aggressive if the medic is just on you like this, but fine. Probably don't want to be on the left side, probably just want to go on the right. They're also squeezing on the left, so... Adjusting, following the bomb. So far, ammo capacity really hasn't paid off since you've been sitting right next to the dispenser, so I would consider ammo capacity not too important. This first wave upgrades for heavy. Engineer's also not in a good position with the sentry just being on the left instead of where the bots are actually going to go. Things are falling apart. Defense is still in the back. Here comes the ammo capacity importance, probably. Meg and maybe working together. Milk healing. And the giant crit boosted soldiers. As long as you have healing, you'll be fine. There goes the medic. You don't have any health and kill, you're getting into that dangerous territory of certain death. 37 ammo is certainly not amazing right here. And here you have the next two giant crit soldiers just rolling in with 8 ammo, which is certainly not a favorable situation. Luckily the medic dies and gives you some nice ammo. And the scout is smart enough to just milk them, which keeps you fairly good alive, but as all things, wasn't supposed to be. You could argue that maybe more firing speed instead of ammo could have actually kept you alive there, where those encounters. Just having some health and kill goes a long way, as any combat class besides scout. You just want to be taking fights on your own. Not even going to have medics and scouts in some games, so now the medic fucked off, doing something, leaving you in the dust. Luckily, we're able to take down that quick fix medic. And NG fails you, or someone else fails you. Who knows? Something deployed, and the NG's gone. Sad MvM moment. But luckily, Engineer Gaming is here. Save the day. Classic teleporter.
It's not possible. No! What coward is still not ready to... Ready! Thank you!
Coward is still not ready to ready. Heavy is credited to conga line. One. really good at counting. So I don't know why you're hovering around the dispenser here. You have no vision of anything. So again, could engage this already. You decided to do so earlier than later. But even this engineer has a sentry positioned in a rather awkward spot. Moves. I'm not entirely sure what your team is doing. You did have a sniper, and you did have more players, so things are just a little bit all over the place. Just a little bit. Rest in peace, medic. A bit of waiting game come wave 4 of team friends. Yeah, I know, I saw it. Watched them all. Gonna be some speed through, hopefully not breaking this fucking demo shit again. Classic sniper annoyance. This is some good teamwork here. Just holding it together as it should be. But he's still clumping his buildings together. Is not exciting. But at least you have ammo this time around. Sentry should probably be around where that sign is. Or the dispenser over there. I think there's 2 extra steps just going back. It's not convenient enough. Better hold than last time. We have a bit more space here. I'd really like to see just a push up through the middle to that doorway. Just to get a bit more space. We're getting into that dangerous territory of circling around them. Meanwhile, your health just gets lower and lower, and the medic is doing whatever. Luckily the giant medic does not quick fix and dies. This got distracting, and he did. Whoa. Now he told me that you switched to pyro just to deal with tanks, and I'm not really a fan of that mindset on its own, because right now you're just giving up heavy to just focus on the tanks primarily, which are a problem, obviously, but you're also just giving up a massive advantage in a damage class to a team that was already struggling. And I don't know if this is a thing, you really upgraded this health and kill on your power jack, but that's pointless. You should probably, again, just skip ammo upgrades and go for more damage if you truly want to just deal with the tanks. And maybe invest in some health and kill. And you'll see why many times. Flare gun's okay. I mean, you're not supposed to use your secondary primarily, but you could also opt with just using a man melter if you really care enough to extinguish some teammates maybe. Like right here, you're trying to engage. Medic is not helping you. You have no health and kill, and you just die. So just getting some health and kill really helps you engaging, and you die again. So if you really want to forward, you should consider getting some health and kill. So it looks like the cow mangler switched to direct hit, or there's another guy, I don't know. Either way, I wouldn't recommend using the direct hit. Use in a better position. But right here again, you're fighting a bunch of robots, and the only thing keeping you alive is the medic. And that dispenser, luckily. You're trying to hold the ground, which is okay, which is fine. Stun mechanics, everyone's favorite. But people are still assisting. Oh, this is a bit risky, but he's not noticing you, so you can do that. Focus on the medic. All's good. But just having like 100 less ammo and more damage would have made that engagement a lot quicker and safer overall. There are tanks here. You're trying to engage the tank. That's where the problem is with you switching off with heavy. Like right now, all the action is over on the right, where the robots are flushing through. But you're not there, with your team already struggling. Meanwhile, you're here facing a tank and some pyros. Killed one pyro, which could have potentially given you 50 extra health, right? So you could have been at 93 instead of 43, helping you engage this better. You probably might still consider just leaving based on the situation at hand, but right here you're pretty much dead, so you're dead. The thing you wanted to do, deal with the tanks, you can't effectively do at this point. I also don't recommend squeezing right next to tanks, that's really dangerous, even with Uber canteens. So you invested 75 and it just Uber canteens twice, which is 150, which could have gone a long way on just getting some health and kill. Another thing you should avoid doing is just buying in. You've bought in like 3 or 4 times by now and wasted like 100 plus credits as well. Well, that doesn't sound a lot, and it doesn't impact the game much later waves. You probably just avoid it in the beginning. Maybe do it when the bomb's about to be deployed, but even then, it shouldn't even get to that point to begin with. But it works out. Just with a bit too much death investment. For my likes. Maybe there's a demo glitch. It doesn't matter whether it is or not. The real issue still prevails that you just can't take fights on your own. Relying on players is fine if you're in a team that you can trust and shit, but even then, there's going to be situations where you're just shit out of luck.
Go, go, go! I cannot wait! Sound up if you're ready.
You're under attack. Protect this facility. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Again, right here, the bump is going to go on the right side, to the right path, so your position should probably be on that side, especially considering there's more robots that just spawned over on that side. Once it gets crushed or something. Bump going up here is probably just because the position you had was up there, so the robots engaged you in that direction. Can't really say for certain though. Dangerous situation right here. Uber medics. And surprise, motherfucker. Again. Couldn't do what you wanted to do. I was clenching my butt cheeks whenever you squeezed right next to tanks. You got so lucky not getting crushed. You can see some stellar Sentry Buster pathing in action. Sentry Buster trying to climb to that sentry over the ramp, just impossible to reach. The thing about ammo capacity being like a non-issue normally is there's plenty of ammo packs if you know where they are, and normally engineers provide enough ammo to just neglect ammo capacity if you ask me. Right here you have MvM, you probably want to taunt, seeing how the robots are already here. I don't know if you wanted to save it for the giants, but you're never safely getting close to those. You got 3 kills, or multiple kills right there. You could have just sustained your own health by just getting some health and kill, making it safer to just fight overall. It's a nice block. Sentry Buster still goofing around in the midsection. Of actually hitting a shot. Right here, you're pushing up on your own, which is okay if you can actually stay alive. pushing through to the tank. And honestly, you can just hope that your team deals with the shit that's coming. Because the tank's important to take down, obviously. But I'd rather just see the whole team pushing through instead of just trying to force it. Another buy-in with 35. No attempt from the sniper. Missed. Soldier triggers. There's another thing to consider. Power Jag is a nice tool to have to go around quickly, but if you have someone unreliable who just deal with Uber medics, you can also just opt to try, and it's just a trying. You just use the third degree in a situation that's favorable maybe to try and get them down, or just trigger them early really. Because these Uber medics could have just turned the tides really fucking fast. Yeah, I'm not gonna forward. The demo already crashed twice because upgrade menus and this menu apparently don't go well together or something. So I can still see your upgrades. You bought firing speed, you maxed ammo capacity, got health restored and kill, which is good right now. 100 is maybe a bit too much if that's accurate. So 50 would just be okay, I would say. I'd rather just see some resistances here. There's a lot of crit bots. The scouts are undefined. Those might as well be bats. But who the fuck knows. But honestly, if you're heavy, you're slow, and there's 40 crit demo knights, just max crit resistance. I would just max it. There's these steel fisters too that can just walk into your face while you try to fend them off. And getting one shot is just ass. Considering everything else in the wave, I wouldn't be too worried about the giant soldiers. But still, that's resistance wise okay. I'd still go for some crit resistance just for the hell of it, because getting caught out by just a single full crit bot is just the end of you. You're alone. But that's just me. If you have a team that you can rely on, you can go without crit resistance here. It's just 27 and melee bots is crits, so not necessary, but if you have unreliable teammates, then I'd still go for that. The longer you stay alive, the more damage you can do, instead of getting just firing speed, which makes you do more damage, but makes staying alive harder. Right? You're on your own. And I sent my own demo. Yeah, sure, man. You can send me a demo. I'll look at it. We're going to look at it. I think you'll review both demos. No, I'll save. I'll review both demos. Bought destroy projectiles according to this, which is kind of unreliable if you just have 1 point. I'm not a fan of it personally, because the angle it's shooting down projectiles is really specific. And to be honest, you have just a blast soldier and 3 rapid fires, I believe, that also have blast, like knockback, right? So trying to shoot those down is kind of pointless. So you could just reinvest those 400 into, let's say, some firing speed or maybe some crit resistance right here. So I wouldn't be too worried about destroying those projectiles specifically. Health and kill is okay, I guess. I mean, again, I would say the more health and kill you get, the less reliable your team's healing is. So Yeah, I noticed. You said get firing speed for the beggars, but you corrected yourself later on, so I'm not gonna mention that even. Yeah, position-wise, I don't know what it is that goes through your mind, obviously, but if you have resistances and you have a medic you can actually rely on, I would go way more aggressive, whatever it is. Blocking, attacking. Right, I'll open that for later.
Engineer is dead!
So for some reason 3 people left. Who the fuck knows why? So that happens for some reason. I think it's too big of a loss. Also not really a big fan of the gloves of running urgently. Because while you get speed, your lowered health is just, I don't know, not ideal. You don't want to get caught out with these out, especially if you have lower resistances in earlier waves. But it doesn't matter. You're refunding the beggars just because you wanted to, which is okay. Maybe not ideal in a given situation that there's a boss, but it's doable. You got 50% damage bonus and max ammo cap, which is maybe a bit too much at this stage. You probably want to max your damage before you max ammo cap, so getting this maxed and ammo cap to maybe 1 or 2 at that point. Movement speed is something I wouldn't get. Doesn't really get you anywhere. You have a rocket launcher, you can easily jump and move. You want to go fast in places, so that's 600 you could just reinvest into the damage, into the health and kill, maybe into more resistances. Fire is a nice distraction, he's trying to circle strafe. Semi-successfully from the looks of it. Yeah. Banners is something interesting to think about. Buff banners are nice. You have a buff, but that guy also has a buff. So you just have a double buff right now, which is kind of pointless. And most people are probably going to tell you to just run conch, because you can sustain yourself so well. Just take fights that you're normally not able to take at all with any of the other banners. Especially considering your lack of health and kill. And that's why I was saying crit resistance is kind of important at this stage. Just getting called out by one bot is pretty much game over. I don't know if it was an accidental switch to the battalions here, but you switched it. Maybe because of the crits. But at that point it was more or less already over with the crits. So you could have just stuck to your buff banner. Or maybe the conch even. Because you could have engaged this easier. It's a good clear. right here, you're engaging multiple fucking robots with no sustained healing. Could have easily survived that with Conch or just with some health and kill. And yeah, getting caught out by that sentry probably would still happen. But you might survive it with just having more health at that point. Trying to push out that position, and you should probably follow up too. Right here, medic's on you, has shields. This is not the ideal range for Bagus, right? You probably want to be somewhere where that like splash mark is on the ground. You want to be way closer. Like right here. That's a good angle, right? Makes sense, he's always dead. Welcome to MvM. And this is where it's pretty much over already. Earlier push-outs when you have more room gives you more space to fight back. Basically camping at spawn and when giants roll in, especially with Uber medics and such, pushing you all over. Not the ideal situation to be in. Host timescale to speed up time and demos. More than 6 time. Alright, I'll try that some more time. Doesn't really matter here. I can just cut out wait times later on. I want to break this evil. Now you have a heavy, which makes this 10 times easier because having a heavy makes things 10 times easier for the most part. Energy focus. Pretty good. Make dice to another fister. Not so much. Another stellar performance by the Sentry Buster. Okay, so the NG fucking wasting his time shooting that Sentry Buster is just terrible. Because right now all these scouts are just flooding in here. Meanwhile the Sentry is distracted by a useless thing. You really want to move up here. You don't want to stick around here. You want to move up together with your team. The medic wanted to go forward. You didn't see anyone go with you or with him. So he was also falling back, just giving up room. Med's dead. Those crits exist. Luckily the spy is better at taking down Ubermex than that last sniper you had. This is not a good range to fight at with the beggars. If you had a normal rocket launcher with maybe rocket specialist, then okay, but you really want to be way closer.
Another sentry buster has entered the area.
Big robot!
Like right here you blasted a bunch of crits into a soldier that was not going to take any damage, so probably better to just shoot the medic.
Give 'em hell, boys!
You've beaten them back. For the wound. I really find it unfair.
Scout says max resistances, let's go.
You have dishonored this entire unit.
Probably not a big deal, but you had a full banner charge, so you probably don't want to die. But, you know, it's not the end of the world.
That spy is not one of ours.
Manco is under attack. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Last one alive, lock the door.
Probably also don't want to laugh right when the wave starts. The giant scout could have easily deployed. Right there. Come to crits. Have you bought some resistance? Probably not.
Engineers, look out for that sentry buster.
So we got some crits and some pyros. Pyros with air blast that you're not really able to engage directly. So you can shoot them around corners like here. And they most likely won't air blast. But it's not looking too hard right now. The wave barely started. Crit resistance is my savior.
Grab that cash, boys. We earned it.
Sums it up pretty well. It's a good engagement. wrapping around, getting back to where your team is. Things are all over the place. Edgy up there. Trying to defend the bomb, the heavy on its own. The medic, yeah. Heard that too.
Another sentry buster has entered the area. But we're not done yet. Go, hurry, get to an upgrade station.
Are the sorriest excuses for soldiers I have ever seen.
In terms of contribution in that wave, I think the spy took it home. Just for being right at the front, because he can. Taking out Uber medics where he could. Dealing with giants whenever possible as well, so. The crit resistance.
Thanks for the aid.
Still.
One. A tank has entered the area.
By dealing with the giant. You're doing what you wanted to do. Should be doing at this point. Lucky for you that the bomb and the tank pathing is actually the same from the looks of this. Yeah, you're trying to force ammo, even though you already had ammo. Enough for the medic's crits as well. And yeah, that crit rocket ideally would have not killed you if you would have had crit resistance. Max. You really just want a max crit resistance. Whenever there's loads of crits. You don't want to cut any corners by just getting 60. because things like that will not happen. These are also battalions, so getting buff banners out does basically nothing.
You have destroyed all vitals.
Let's go. Thanks for the aid.
I don't know why you went to that side, just for the tank, I guess, but there was a giant rolling in, which was probably a bit more dangerous at that point.
Another sentry buster has entered the area. Alert! The tank is halfway through.
Because when you turn and you see a giant, heavy, medic just rolling into your town, it's not funny to see.
Engineer bot has teleported in. The spies are here.
Yeah! Pyros with crits.
Another.
And that's where this one ends. Had to go, I assume. So you really want to be independent. You should get some health and kill. You can't rely on your teammates. You're just in a random game with random people. And if you just want to be independent, especially as Bagger Soldier, you really just want to use Conch. If you think tanks are an issue, then you can just switch on a tank wave to get a buff banner out. Otherwise, I'd really just say, just run Conch. It's gonna save you plenty of time, plenty of life. It's gonna save your team plenty of time, plenty of life, compared to just getting some mini crit buffs or just defensive buffs with the other banners. There's situations where those two obviously make more sense. But if there's a lot of crits, you probably want to use battalions. If your team's really weak and bad at dealing with crits, and you have a team that's bad with dealing with tanks, you most definitely want to run buff banners. So there's that. Or you could always do the tried and true method of canteen gaming.
Where like 2 weeks ago I was worth 50 rep now. Fucking hell, it's like
Okay, here we are on Estate. I think the mission is Marina Mayhem. I'm right. Otherwise, it doesn't really matter. And you'll be on beggars throughout the whole game. One question I have is, why did you buy those teleport to spawn canteens? Because you never use them throughout the whole game.
He's a 60 ref now. God damn it!
Not ready.
Yeah, you get him, bro. Percy on high ping over there.
It's okay if you've got about them, but why'd you buy them? Is it Carbureted Clash? Alright, it's Carbureted then. Doesn't really matter. I'm not here for the mission itself. Like, what was your thought process behind getting teleport to spawn canteens?
I hope all affairs are in order. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Wave 1 attempted, didn't record. Jane Scouts got past. Okay. That's fair. I really don't like that engineer setup. Sentry's out, which is fine. The dispenser's tucked away, which is not fine. And that teleporter spot is right in the fucking open of that tunnel they're waltzing into. And the sentry didn't block, so yeah. Not cool. Also good, Spy doing some work. Good teamwork. Sentry Buster back spawns and is annoying as always. You have loads of money in this first wave, I remember. That's why you can afford these upgrades. This looks pretty good so far. I would just forget about this fire resistance, to be honest. Just those few pyros are never gonna touch you, ideally. And one fire resistance doesn't do much against full crit boosted Dragon's Furies to begin with, so it's just not useful. Sentry Buster comes, Sentry Buster blows up the dispenser, what do you know, welcome to MvM. So far that's pretty solid hold there in the fucking choke. Leftover money. Yeah, but it still doesn't make sense. It's because you have it, you don't have to spend it. Spy spawning right there. Classic. Here come the damage boosted counter angles or whatever. Want the medic to use and he's holding his fucking Uber. Like it's his child. And he dies. Rest in peace. So you're trying to engage these soldiers. And again, you killed 2, right? Just with 1 health and kill, you could have replenished 50 health. If you had 2 ticks of health and kill, you could have just gotten back 100 health. You would have probably not died, could have killed that one as well, and could have gone back to fighting the tank at the same time after this engagement. Always with the... Probably, because you never know how situations play out until they play out. Right? So, still, like trying to fight annoying scout bats, story of my life. Classic spy spawns right in your ass. You can feel the paranoia just by the movement. And right here, the medic is using, which is your saving grace. As soon as that charges out and you're out of ammo, you just want to instantly blow into that conch or buff banner or whatever you have, because you're looking for ammo anyway, you're just walking, so you might as well just use it and then drop it as soon as you have ammo. Not too important in that situation, because the tank was not going to deploy anyway, but just something to consider.
Oh, good job, Spy. The time Spy can act like actual dead lane. You did pretty good. I respect.
So we funded here. Assume to get rid of this fire resistance, because there's no fire in this wave.
Let's go.
Let us move.
There's a point the spy makes that's really solid for not using the teleporter the way he did, right? He said he loves going through the teleporter and getting killed twice by the soldiers, simply because the teleporter was completely exposed, right in the path of the bots. Even for a spy, if they target that teleporter just going through here, you're just insta-dead. And if not, you're not gonna survive, so... Having the teleporter somewhere behind this position, like the upper area, behind the wall, so that it's not directly exposed, would be so much better. And you should be moving his shit over here, as you remind him of, because the bomb path has changed. You love the smell of a medic, as does everyone on TF2. So yeah, you got rid of that, got some more damage, some more ammo, but you really should have some health and kill. 1 or 2 goes a long way. Especially if you're just running buff banners with no res to begin with. Which could be an issue in this wave, considering those scouts are bad scouts with full crits, and they also mark you with mini crits. There's loads of soldiers with full crits, but as long as you just not directly engage the full crits, could just be fine. I don't even know if the scouts count as full crits, or if that's just a sign that they mark you. I don't know. You will notice the mate gets blasted. And so do you. More exposed teleporters. Just imagine coming out of this teleporter, the giant soldier with the full crits coming in, shooting that sentry that's right next to the teleporter. You're just going to be fucking livid. Or I would be. Like, look at this situation. Right here! Right here! Why? Infuriating! I'm not even reviewing the fucking engineer. So things aren't going exactly well. There's the full crits rolling in and the bat scouts all over the place. Yeah. Good shit. Crits you can't engage, so you're backing off. The right decision. Trying to do whatever possible to salvage this shit. You're getting called out, like I said, by the full crits, which might have been negated. You could have also opted to just run battalions here, to just get rid of those. and engage safely that way. But that's... You need a lot of timing for that, and you need to be alive in the situation to just engage that as well, so... Meds here, it's good. Shielding, solid. There's still crits. You eat one, and then you eat another one. Where there's lovely demos just roaming. Covering for the engineers a lack of ability. Let's just put it how it is. Engineer moving his sentry up, which is a stellar idea to just lose this wave. Medic engaging scouts because he's scared of losing, but that's really nice his place. Just try and fucking arrow them or needle them or whatever. And she's shit going down. Medic takes another L. You're holding shit together fairly well. Only 12 scouts left, no big deal. You're safe to move out. To engage the Robo Sandwich Heavy. Which is something that requires at least some sort of teamwork. Even remotely attempt. Unfortunate. Nothing that Health and Kill could have saved you from. But maybe the conch could have, right? Maybe the conch could have. Enough about the conch, comes the issue. And she drops her sentry, he eats. It's the right moment to pounce. Buff banner coming in really handy here. And you're doing it. Good engagement with teamwork. Now here's something that is kind of hard to just judge. Those 18 giant crit medics are devastating. Even with full crit resistance, they are devastating. But with full crit resistance, you at least have a sliver of a chance to just maybe avoid, dodge, get out of the way, or just take them out, right? I would really just, if you're a direct combat class and you know what's coming right here, you most definitely want to just either take them out fast with good teamwork, or if you're engaging on your own, you most definitely want just to have max crit res. Because there's no way you're gonna live through that with crit res or battalions or some sort of plan, engaging them from afar, like the sniper maybe. Dealing with them appropriately. The spy is most definitely not going to get a lot done with them. Maybe take a stab or two before he gets demolished by them. So, and I'm saying that because I know exactly what's going to happen in this wave. Tank trains rolling in, switching the banners, instantly blowing, good. Sniper engaging, good. Hitting the middle of them, good. Splash, all good, all good. It's just tanks. Nothing can hurt you, right? Oh. Never mind. Sniper got crushed. Let's just hope that never happens again in this mission. Excuse me. Right here you have buffs again. Wanna blow into them. As soon as you have it, most likely. And then just instantly go back at it. Like right here as well, you're using rockets that are not buffed. Then switch for buffed rockets. You already wasted 10 more at that point. Might not be a big deal, but just something to keep in mind. You're that close to like the tanks deploying, a couple seconds can make or break a wave, right? It's a good engagement, the Met's pocketing you, you're moving in, getting close. Just the perfect range for baggers. You might also consider just trying to aim more down to the floor, to the feet, like right here, if you're on an increased range. Maybe get some more splash and the rocket actually connecting. Because the deviation can really be fucking annoying. Is he keeping his sentry up? Really saves you here. All the demos.
You deserve a medal. Incoming. Thanks, soldier. Big robot.
Now here comes the problem, right? Problem that people underestimate. Mini crits. Milk. Dead. Yeah, that sums it up pretty well. Holy shit is a good assumption. Nice teleporter, right? So that's like what, 50 credits down the shitter? Because of bad engagements. Yeah, but you can't really what's the word? Anticipate the guy throwing his Girardi, right? Fully credits. Could have afforded some crit resistance. Look at your money, you have 560. You could have just maxed it right here. Probably prevented, I don't know, maybe that one death. Maybe another death. But you're never gonna know that these guys are so devastating, right? You just play, you see giant medics with crits, you don't expect them to just destroy your fucking ass. Even with max crit resistance, they're really difficult to engage. But you might stand a chance. Wave 4's a wave I really don't like in this mission at all. Because there's not really much going on. There's tank spam, which is not the most exciting thing in the fucking world. And then you have just a couple giant heavies with some random support pyros, and I don't even know why those Umegs have full crits on them. They're most likely not gonna use those full crits ever. So and he's setting up the same way he did last time, which makes me sad inside.
Thanks, mate, idiot. Good on ya.
Fuck shit, fuck shit.
Oh,
It's fine.
are you all trying for a Section 8?
Am I hearing the one that feels like...
Affirmative.
Oh yeah, since we're old Australia,
The robots are here.
the big the three
Protect
thing.
man code.
How's it look back?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What the hell? A tank has entered the area.
This always starts with a tank. As of course it does. Bad situations going really bad. Bad teleport placement going really bad. What do you know?
Multiple tanks.
Thanks. Move out. Incoming.
I don't know why you went on this side, because they're all going on the right side. So you're on the wrong side, basically. Just wasting time.
Give 'em hell, boys.
Oh no, the medic got crushed by the tank. Yeah, the medic should not be on the tank either.
Go, go, go. Charge.
You did say you were playing with friends though, so I can only assume that he was your friend. Maybe. Oh no, the medic got crushed by a tank. Clean these flame effects. Why? Looks nice.
There are multiple tanks. Stop those tanks.
Imagine if they sell that on Steam, right? You have those unusual, well not unusual, you have those, what do you call it? The animated profile borders, right? Just imagine that in TF2. Confusing? Not confusing to me, it's just a glitch. It's not on fire. Look, they're gone.
There are multiple tanks. Stop those tanks.
I don't find that sentry position to be too bad, because it's taking shots at both the bots coming in and the tank. There's not much else he could do. The wave ends like this, with most likely the spy taking a lot of engagements against the giants. We never really see much happening on the right side, because whoever's going to deal with the tanks is most definitely going to be on the tanks. Oh no, the mate got crushed by a tank! Oh no, the spy got crushed by a tank too. Devastating. So yeah, you do not ever want to be right next to the tank's sides whenever he's taking turns through tight chokes. You also do not want to be under a tank. And you most definitely also do not want to be on top of the tank whenever it's driving through a tunnel.
Cocaine scouts. Average.
Here we have another wave that's notorious for fucking crit bots being a pain in the fucking ass. Which makes having crit resistance maxed and some form of sustained healing, like health and kill, even more important for combat classes. To just stay engaged, stay alive,
Let's go, let's go, let's go!
deal with whatever comes loading your way.
Probably like a power thing. A lot of the times life is low.
As you can tell from the demo timer, we're on wave 5 and we barely passed half of the demo. Not looking good. Yeah, something else that I found curious was that you said you need to see your keyboard to play, which was kind of strange to me. It sort of implies that you haven't been playing on PC for like prolonged time, that you're not really used to keyboards.
On this, where basically if I press a button, it explodes with color.
Because generally you wouldn't really need to see your keyboard, right? And I know that's coming from me, who has a fucking lit up keyboard, but yeah, generally you normally wouldn't look at the keyboard.
Imagine not having a light up keyboard. What I have. I remember I bought a $20 Steam card and $50 cards for my geometry dash. But my brother struck a deal with me. I give it to him. He gives me geometry dash. He gives me a mouse. Took that. Just gave me a keyboard.
Oh yeah, this wave also has the lovely combat spies. Lovely. So you want to keep your distance from this guy, just a little bit. You can easily just be right next to him and just try to circle him if possible. Maybe even jump the lasers. Like right here. It's a good way to engage that. It's a bit tricky and a bit difficult. It's a good attempt right here. Probably the best out of all your attempts. Milk keeping you alive too. Out of sight, switching the banners, blowing into them, and going back in. Unfortunate. You got blasted there with a whole slew of the projectiles, but I guess it's not really a projectile, is it?
Sniper down! Let's give this soup can hell! Scout down!
Here comes the actual issue of this wave. Crit SMGs and bonk scouts.
Alert. The bomb is almost to the hedge. Alert. They're deploying.
Oh no, they're deploying it while bombs. No.
Got pushed back so far, the bonk scouts just rolling in, the SMG snipers just being an annoyance, and that's all she wrote.
Someone else play
Right,
the actual
so that's your resistances right here. And you bought 60 critical hits, but why not 90? Why not 90? You have 110 left, right? If you had bought in one less time, you could have gotten 40 more credits. Being able to just afford max crit resistance, right? So it's these tiny amounts of money that don't seem like a lot, but when it really counts, it really fucking counts. So you have to like cut corners with other upgrades like ammo cap or some damage upgrades or some shit like that. Maybe neglect some other resistances that are sort of important at the time. It's just... I would avoid buying in unless it's really fucking necessary. They're about to deploy the bomb, you're trying to save it or something. Because just trying to stay alive, having less deaths, automatically avoids you wasting money. The more you die, the more you buy in, the more money you waste. Mostly apparent on pyros as well. They just run in, die, buy in, run in, die, buy in, and then they wonder why they're fucking underperforming or people shit on pyros because they're terrible most of the time. Right. I don't know what switch, what prompted the switch. The guy is, the engineer is a scout now, you have 2 snipers. I don't know what the thought process behind that is. Was the pyro as well, which I think was going to air blast or some shit like that. And the medic switches to engineer, which eliminates one of your healing sources.
The attack has started.
Well, air blast falls. Yeah, I mean, I'd believe it. You wouldn't even need to type it out. Most pyro switches, when things deploy the bomb, are probably just the air blast, right?
Milk and
All dishonorably discharged.
Not sure why you kill bound here.
Get to an upgrade station before they return.
Oh, I see.
Oh,
You voted for resets. Okay. I don't remember that.
Yep, upgrade the
Like how you tell him to upgrade the soda popper, but
2 clip and 1 damage.
unless he knows how to actually use it as a scout,
Now I've got to
probably
do
not the
this
best
because I
idea.
used to do I used to be real good at
Yeah.
so yeah, milk fan.
And this gives specific advice, like what to upgrade,
Good
how, and
sentry spot.
shit. And even then, if he doesn't know how to position himself appropriately, then
Scoot.
the result
Sentry
could just be
spot
all over the
provides
place.
Good area denial, and also if he ever comes up and starts beating your ass, pull out Wrangler like it's your dick in a strip club.
But it did
Everyone else,
seem that he was able to chip in quite a fair amount of
okay?
damage.
Yeah, but yeah, good dispenser spot there, and teleport doesn't work. As long as it gets me.
Everybody ready? Go,
We're
go,
under
go!
attack.
Backing up.
5, 4, 3, 2.
That was an amazing killing spree. By the
You must not fail me again. The spies are here.
Get with the program.
Milk. Shoot him.
And this guy takes his first victim. Ah, yes, the combat spies.
I love DPS Scout. He out damages the. He out damages this mecha. Ah. Ah. Ah.
Engineers, look out for that sentry buster.
Scout milk saving everyone big time throughout the mission.
Thanks.
Which to fight against? I don't know, I actually don't mind them as much. They're not the most difficult enemy. I think I'm more annoyed at just pushback bosses and shit. The real annoying laser dudes are these squad shot laser gun pyros that you can't even see coming, right? They just snipe you and insta kill you across the map. That's the real unfun shit.
If they deploy the bomb, all is lost.
Pain is weakness leaving the body.
So now it's just a whole fucking big ass mess again. There's the Bonk Boys. Combat spies and the snipers just doing work. Being a complete fucking nuisance.
Thanks, soldier.
No comment, Erikku. This is just painful.
Ready to go. 27.
Last one alive.
Another sentry buster has entered the area.
Thanks, soldier. Sniper down.
Now,
Get to an upgrade station.
you could have easily done that wave right there. But the problem that you keep running into is just you can't keep yourself alive. Can't engage those guys safely because you don't get anything back from engaging them. Health and kill goes a long way. And there's just no better example to make.
I guys need to track the second
There are more switch ups. The pyro is an engineer now. I believe the engineer is the pyro now. One of the snipers is a spy again. Now I don't know what his plan as pyro was, but this NG setup looks already better than your previous engineer.
Let's go, let's go, let's go!
Let's go, lads.
5, 4, 3,
Oh, it's out. Let's go.
you must not fail me again. Here come the spies.
Thanks for the teleporter.
Look at that, the teleporter is not exposed immediately to fire. Wow! The dispenser is forward in a reachable position. Crazy! And the sentry's out here too, shooting. What? I really like this move by the engineer too. You move the sentry from here to the tunnel section, blocking. It's such an easy thing to do, such a simple thing, right? Giving you plenty of opportunity to lay into this giant boss. Unfortunately, once it's
We got
down,
a massive chunk out of his health. We got this.
things aren't looking so well.
Which of you numbnuts let us down?
The problem with just circle strafing around him is that he's going to blast shots all over the place, right? So some of these shots were probably not even intended for you or for anyone else, but they were just flying all over the place. So I'm not really a fan of just circle strafing around this guy. I'd rather just keep it in like one area and then just jump and then just jump, right? Just jump. So you keep the shots in one direction.
Scout down!
Choke, a block, a dispenser. Things are looking good. As long as it stays up and people stay up.
Alert. The bomb is almost to the hatch. They're beating us. Fight harder. Hurry. Get to an upgrade station.
At this point, I would be really frustrated.
Force nature.
That was what, the fourth loss, I believe. on a wave that's not actually that difficult.
Awful idea. First of all, this war.
Upgrade wise, not much is going to change. I mean, you can't afford too much, so the only real upgrades you can buy is just getting double critters, so,
Well,
which is unfortunate.
That start
You could change it up and maybe get less ammo right here.
giving us less.
Just free up 250 to get max critters and negate some of the damage. And maybe cut some more corners somewhere. Maybe just switch banners. You're not forced to use the buff banner just because there's a tank or just because people say buff is the best, which isn't even true if you think about it.
Y'all ready?
I mean, so far the buff banner hasn't benefited anyone throughout these attempts. Maybe getting some damage in on the giant, but the rest of the wave, it was just not useful. You could just also just switch mid-wave banners. You could use the banner in the first half apart, just fighting the boss. Because you maybe prefer the damage against it, and then just have the healing when the multiple bards come in. Or just negate the crits.
If you don't have
You get lucky here and the guy actually focuses the dispenser for quite a few seconds. I was circling. Solid.
Am I hallucinating or is Spies using
If the NG had his dispenser somewhere closer to him, he could have sustained this much easier. But instead he has to leave.
this is not good. Oh wait, I'm at 69.
Teleport is not safe anymore.
Have my 69 out of 100 in my track.
They deploy the bomb, all is lost.
And things are looking just as bad as before.
Deploying the bomb.
Air Blast is fucking awful in 99% of all situations in MvM. That's maybe a bit too much. Maybe 90%. But the point stands, right? Don't main Air Blast. Fence is a nice distraction for the combat spies. They just love blasting into stuff that's useless.
Engineer, look out for that sentry buster.
You are not welcome in my world.
No vision. But things are looking good.
Another sentry buster has entered the area.
Cash boy's weird.
Guys, the tank.
There was like a solid 1, maybe 2 minutes where you didn't actually do anything here. You're looking for spies, I assume.
That's it. The tank. That's literally it.
Stop that tank! Alert! Another sentry buster has entered the area.
This pissed me off. The spies stole your ammo.
Alert! The tank is almost to the hatch.
Come on, lads, we can do this. Right. Spy, use your revolver.
Another sentry buster has entered the area. Alert! If they deploy the bomb, all is lost. Wait now. Take it back. I'm giving you a bonus.
After quite some time, you managed to do it.
I will do it. I know what it is. Probably don't want to know. But I'll do it. What we got left is
And the last wave is pretty much a joke at this point. I don't think I've ever seen this guy deploy.
Sniper down! Pony up, boys!
I don't know about the Dragon's Fury maybe beating the Flog as a statement.
by
It sounds very iffy.
explosive resist. I can't feel.
Maybe that's just my bias against Dragon's Fury being annoying to use. No offense, but not having a weapon in MvM is never an excuse. You would have said TF2 in general. I guess it applies to MvM as well, but you don't really need any specific weapons in MvM. You could just play full stock and you would still be able to win. So it's not really that important.
Not good sentry. Bad sentry. Put sentry here. Hey,
And I don't know exactly why 2 pyros in a wave with a giant soldier that flies through the air.
Defend Manco at all costs. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, I think the potato contracts were more interesting than the CTF contracts. Musical chairs was interesting. The team on Stark.
okay, this song is
A lot of the CTF contracts also don't make a lot of sense. Like some points you get for some contracts versus others. It's just mind-blowing in terms of difficulty in doing some of them. Bonus objectives especially. Nice surf out. You live. And then you decide to get in a tussle with this guy. For some reason.
That was an amazing killing spree by the other team.
You see though, you have a buff banner right now, which benefits in some damage, but you can't safely engage it, so you kind of, sort of, always have to be on a distance, on a flank, not directly engaging. If you had a conch right here, you could just be right next to him, blast him constantly, without even missing a single rocket. Maybe if he blasts you away, but you get the point, right? It's fair if you didn't know what the bot was, but considering it's a giant demo and he has like a cable in his hand, I probably just wouldn't get close to it. But now you know. There's a lot of more bullshit things, or there were a lot of more bullshit things in this mission. So yeah, you did it. Congratulations. And that's the end of that demo. So I think in both missions, you were really hesitant in trying to engage, and maybe that's because you know that you can't stay in the fights. So if you would just get some health and kill, maybe use a conch, just try it out. Try to like know your limits, right? What fights you can take, what fights you better back off and fight another time, right? You would be much better at just fighting overall in general. So yeah, crit resistance when it's needed, when it's important. You always have to like kind of know what's threatening and whatnot. There's melee demos with crit swords, probably not as threatening as giant heavies with full crits or giant soldiers with full crits. But depending on the situation, either one could just destroy your ass. So sort of have to wage it off. And depending on the cash you have available, you have to make some cuts somewhere. You can't do anything about it. You can also just switch banners, right? Switch banners to battalions. Use that to negate the crits to have better engagements overall, together as a team or on your own. And yeah, that's pretty much all I saw worth mentioning, which I would see as a problem. You tried holding it together at the bomb, you saw the importance of the bomb, despite your team lacking in the ability to control it. But at times, it's just not much you can do. Pyro 2, you should probably, if you want to play Pyro, just play Pyro for the sake of playing Pyro, not for the sake of dealing with tanks. Because just focusing for tanks as a single class is just eliminating your ability overall against everything else in the wave, so just see it as a side objective. Because Pyro is still devastating against any other fucking robots, especially with the Flag. So yeah, that's that. I'll take a look at Autisticsissy's demo. How long that is, I'm not sure. What's the size? 144 megabytes. That's pretty big. And I'll get back to everyone on that one next weekend, I would say.